Traditional yield farming is dead. Thanks to Reflect and the invention of frictionless yields, there is no need to buy a token, then provide liquidity, then take the LP tokens and stake them on a website. If you are familiar with yield farming, you also know the risk of impermanent loss. Well, with frictionless yields, you don't have to worry about that as you are not providing liquidity. Rewards are issued instantly to your wallet just for holding the tokens. You pay a tax to buy and sell, and that is instantly issued back to every address that holds the token. In the past, there have been projects that are deflationary, but with frictionless yields, we now have what is known as a black hole. As long as the burn address holds tokens, the supply is going to decrease, but at a compounding rate. The tax that is paid by the buyers and sellers goes back to addresses that hold the token. However, the percentage of that tax that a holder gets is determined by the percentage of tokens it holds in relation to other holders. So if you hold more tokens, you are going to get more of the rewards. If we look at a project like RFI, they have a 1% tax. In my opinion, I don't think a 1% tax is, sustainable. Yes, the project can last, but there's nothing enticing about 1%. Remember, that 1% is divided amongst all holders and off of the percentage they hold. If your project's whole draw is that of rewards, you better give them rewards. I don't want to talk bad on RFI, but I think they messed up on setting rewards at 1%. It's just not enough. That is why I'm a fan of Reflector's 12% tax. That tax in itself creates better mechanics. It is big enough to feed the community and incentivizes people to hold tokens. It also creates a monster of a burn address. Remember, a burn address cannot sell any tokens, and when that burn address keeps getting compounding growth every time someone buys and sells, it just makes the token more scarce. Let's take a look at what happens when we play with some real numbers. Just to make things easy, I'm only going to do buy orders and I will peg every buy at 1 cent, just to make the math easier to understand. I will also only use whole numbers and I will use dollar amounts instead of Ether. I will also seed the burn address with an arbitrary amount just so it becomes a holder. Okay, so let's start out with a supply of 12 million tokens, and let's say a buy order comes across at $1,000. Spending $1,000 on a token worth 1 cent is typically going to yield you 100,000 tokens. However, with the 12% tax, the holder is going to get 88,000 tokens. In this case, holder number 1 now holds 100% of the tokens. Understand, this is not 100% of the supply, just 100% of the tokens that are not in the contract address. Now let's watch what happens when 100,000 tokens are sent to the burn address. We see that the burn address now holds 53.19% and holder number 1 now holds 46.81%. We also notice that the supply has gone down by 100,000. Remember, circulating supply divided by market cap gives us the price. So the lower the supply, the higher the price. Okay, let's say another buy order comes across for $1,000. And again, I'm pegging this to 1 cent. I'm not going above 1 cent throughout this demonstration. We see now that holder number 1 has 32.5%, holder number 2 has 30.56%, and the burn address has 36.94%. We also notice the supply has decreased and every holder has more tokens. These rewards are added instantly with no need to pay gas or unstake. Okay, so let's see another buy order for $1,000. We see that each holder's percentage is decreasing as more holders are buying. In this early stage, the burn address percentage is decreasing as well. However, as time goes on, the burn address will actually start increasing in percentage as it cannot sell any tokens. The burn address eventually will become the biggest holder, and that is due to the 12% tax. You may think that 12% is a huge tax, but if it were only 1%, the burn would be practically non-existent. just like the rewards would be. Take your time and do your research on Reflector. The 12% tax is necessary for frictionless yields to work. I suggest heading over to their Telegram and asking questions. The community is very helpful and they have a lot going on. They partnered with Eternal Cash and just launched a virtual slot machine, have already set up liquidity pools with RFI, and they are working on a layer 2 solution with Loopring. You owe it to yourself to take a look. Remember, the future is frictionless.